Yo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is you voted on it. You told me this is what you wanted. A guitar collection video. It's happening. It's the real deal. It's going down. So today, you know, I always feel weird about kind of doing these videos because it can be kind of misconstrued as like showing off, and it's not what it's meant to be at all. If you're like me, I love hearing about just guitars in general. I mean, I'm always watching guitar videos like 24/7. So I was like, well, okay, I'll do this collection video because a lot of people are asking for it, and it's kind of nice because, you know, when I'm making videos, I typically don't talk about the gear that I'm playing because I'm just not focused on that. I'm focused on whatever the topic is at hand, unless it's about the gear. But a lot of people ask me, what is that guitar you're playing, or what are the pickups in that? So this is a good way that, for one, you guys can see what guitars I have, what guitars are still here. Like if you don't see a guitar like the SG or the Kotzentelli, like I sold those to get other guitars. So that's kind of it. We're just gonna dive into this. I got a bunch of them here lined up. I'm gonna talk about most of the guitars, definitely the ones that you guys ask about, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So I hope you enjoy the video. Like I said, if it puts you to sleep, I totally understand. I'm boring, but hopefully the guitars aren't. So let's get it. Oh, and for tones, I have it like crazy loud in here right now, and it's gonna stay that way. I'm just trying to do the Axe effects. I figured it's such a long video, it's too hot to run the amps right now. So Axe effects, so some of the guitars might sound a little bit samey. It's not as dynamic as like if I was playing through the Marshall or something like that, but it's just, I'm just gonna talk about them and give you a little taste of the tone, just a taste. Guitar number one, I think I did another guitar collection video maybe 2 years ago. Maybe it was 1 year ago, I don't know. But I started with this guitar and I was like, hey, you got to start with the, you know, with the king of the castle over here. And it's this guitar. This is still my favorite guitar that I own. This is my 1979 Les Paul KM. Now, if you don't know what a KM is, it stands for Kalamazoo model. It goes around different things. But basically, this was one of the last lines when they were still made in Kalamazoo before they went to Nashville, where they are now. And of course, Heritage is still made at Kalamazoo, so if you want a Les Paul like this, I'd probably get a Heritage, you know. Some things that make it unique are these double cream pickups. I've told this story many times, but in case you don't know, I get asked all the time, what are these pickups still? They're not DiMarzio's. These are actually Gibson pickups. They're called T-tops, but they made them with these double cream bobbins, and DiMarzio sued Gibson over it and won, and Gibson had to stop making them. So you can only find these in a couple models. They're very uncommon. T-tops aren't uncommon, but the double cream T-tops are rare, and you know, a set of them online, you can see them every once in a while, and they're pretty expensive. The other thing that's kind of funky about this guitar is, of course, it has a 3-piece maple neck on it, a 1-piece mahogany body, and then a 2-piece maple top, which was weird for back then. You know, that was not the common thing. You would see 3, 4-piece tops, 5, God, I mean, who knows how many tops they would use. It was the 70s. They were kind of like trying to make the guitars pretty much as cheap as possible. But the KMs are, you know, pretty sought after. There's only 1,500 of them ever made, and they're fantastic. Everything on it is stock except for the 2 volume pots. I had to get those replaced. They finally went out, and it's my favorite guitar that I own. You know, I love this thing so much. As I play super sloppy. I have, you know, too much gain on here, but I always say that this one sounds the most like Page because it's such a bright sounding Les Paul. Even though a lot of those Page recordings were Telecaster. That's why they say, you know, nothing sold more Les Pauls than Jimmy Page's Telecaster. That tone there, that middle position, I'm like, oh, that's as Luke Kern likes to make fun of me, I always say that's so Pagey. Ah yes, next. Since I was a wee lad, this was the dream guitar of mine. You know, as you get older, you kind of like fine-tune those dream guitars. I always wanted an old Strat, and then as time goes on and you learn more about guitars, I'm like, oh, I want a 63 Strat is really what it came down to. And this was, I got this almost a year ago. I'm going to do a video kind of dedicated just to this one after I've had it for a year, and which will be in December. But legitimate, like, #1 dream guitar for me was a 63 Strat, and so I've been playing guitar like 15 years now, so it took 15 years, 14, 15 years to get it, but I feel very honored to get to own this guitar. So a lot of people ask me, what is this guitar? What are those pickups in it? And it's just, they didn't have names for the pickups and stuff back then. They were just 63 pickups. Now, there are custom shops that I've played that are modeled after a 63 and modeled after 63 pickups. Honestly, if the guitar, if owning a real 63 doesn't excite you or interest you or have any special meaning to you at all, just get a custom shop, They sound, I mean, I don't even know if I could tell them apart. Just being honest, not even trying to lie to myself. It's just this guitar has so much special meaning, and it does have mojo to it. Like, I know that's kind of a word that gets thrown around a lot, but it has a vibe that the custom shops and stuff don't have. But you would get that vibe if you played that custom shop guitar a lot, So this one has been refinished. It's not all original paint, but they did a really good job of refinishing in this kind of period correct translucent white. It's not as translucent as my Esquire, which you'll see here in a little bit, but that's 50, so this is 60, so it's a little bit thicker of a white to it. But everything on the guitar is original except for the pickguard now. Now we replaced the switch with an old NOS 63 switch. We have 63 pots in it now. I still have the everything else is good to go on it. The original tremolo arm or a whammy bar arm. Someone left a big comment correcting me on how this is not a tremolo arm. Listen, if you know what it is that I'm talking about, it is what it is. It does not have the original back plate though. But other than that, man, it's it still has the original frets, which I'm gonna have to get it refretted. I've been dreading it because I love the guitar so much. I just don't want to be without it. But it is just it's an amazing guitar. Like I said, I can't imagine not having it now. One thing I did that's not an original mod to it is this tone knob, thanks to my buddy Nick. I got to give him a big shout out. He sent me a picture of what to do. Nick's always helping me with guitar stuff. He's one of my, super guitar buddies. You have your, circle of guitar buddies that you talk to about different stuff. When it comes to vintage guitars, I'm always either talking to Nick or, Uncle Larry or someone like that. Just they just know so much more than I do about the stuff. So those are my vintage guitar buddies. But he told me how to wire my tone knob back here. It's wired to both. It's my middle and my bridge pickup. But I have to wind my middle pickup down. So it gives the position 4 and 2 a little bit of a different sound. But that's not it. And then like I said, it has a 3-way switch in it, not a 5-way. So there's that position 4 with my tones all the way up. Oh, hold on. I can't do it. I'm trying to remember what chords to play. And if you have not seen the videos when I originally got this, we ended up discovering all kinds of stuff about this guitar. We figured out who the original owner was. We got the full backstory. I have all these amazing old pictures of Jim, who got it when he was 15 years old and had it basically his whole life. The guitar went to California, back to Ohio, and he doesn't live that far from me. Is what's really crazy. So, this guitar has an amazing story. It's definitely one, I would never get rid of, unless circumstances I needed to sell a bunch of stuff or something. That maybe if I had to, I would. I wouldn't bat an eye. But let's fingers crossed nothing like that ever happens. And I plan on keeping this guitar forever. It's just it's a piece of history, and it means so much to me. It represents a lot of different things. So I love this guitar. Oh, the Esquire. Now, when it came to Telecasters, I was like, you know what? The Telecaster for me is not a Telecaster. It's an Esquire. And I always think it's funny because people will leave comments like, it's so dumb, it's just a Tele without a neck pickup. And I'm just like, hey, bro, Esquire was first. A Telecaster is just an Esquire with a neck pickup. Bro. So this one right here is a 58. Now this is refinished too. You know, I don't own any guitars that have original paint on them or anything, but this is a very old refinish. So this was one, you know, it turned out to be kind of another cool story with this one. This is one of the things that, you know, when you get older guitars, they already have stories. So you kind of get to hear a little bit about them. Now, I've never gotten really the full story of this guitar, and I've never spoken to the previous owner, but I bought this down from Rumble Seat down in Nashville. And the previous owner was the bass player of Cheap Trick, who I can't remember his name, but so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know, and he had it for, they said, probably, you know, 10, 15 years, however long he had it, and, you know, someone had it before him, and it just has this real old refin, but they did a really good job of getting the color and just how translucent it is. I'm not sure, maybe even on there, I think you can see the wood grain through it, and you can see it's I mean, it's been played and worn out, the fretboard's got some wear on it, and just an amazing guitar. One of the things that's cool, you know, I was talking about the necks earlier, and or maybe not. Like I said, I keep forgetting. I'm not sure what order you guys are going to see these guitars in. So, you know, I love different neck shapes and just the way they feel on your hand. And this has this really nice soft V neck. You know, lots of checking on it and all this kind of stuff. A little bit of a rougher feel, but I love it. You know, I like everything about how this guitar. Again, it just inspires you in a different way. You know. You know, it's very simple. One pickup. A lot of people are like, "Where's the pickup?" It's right here. You only need one. And you know, if you can't get it done with a Tele or an Esquire, man, is it worth doing? So yeah, there's just 3 different voicings for the pickup. A lot of people ask. There's this one with all these extra capacitors, where it's real dark. This one now, the tone knob, I can roll it down if I want. And then here. You know, it's just a fire breather of a guitar, man. There's no real off switch to it. It's a little bit microphonic. Everything on it, aside from the paint, is original. It even has its original case. I don't think you guys can see it, can you? But yeah, it is. It was another one of those dream guitars. I'm not saying it was the same level as the Strat. The Strat was my ultimate dream guitar. But then, you know, there are just certain other guitars that I always kind of dreamt. I'm like, man, I want an old Esquire. You guys can go back years on the channel in videos. Man, I've talked about wanting an Esquire, and here it is, man. You can hear the. I love the cranky pods. Listen to look, now it's not doing it. It was all like a second ago, but I know I'm always talking about Page and all that stuff, but this is really close to what Page would have. I mean, his was an actual Telecaster, but I think his was a 58 or 59. I can't remember, and I think his was a top loader. Mine's a through body Esquire, but a similar style of pickup. You know, it's not a flat pole. It's got the raised D and G on it, but similar to what Page would have been using. You know, back then I obviously don't have a neck pickup. It's a smoking hot guitar. I love this thing. Original frets too. They still got life in them. So not like the Strat, man. That sucker's toast. Oh, this is the 335 your mama warned you about. So, played a lot of 335s, you know. Closest thing to finding one that I really liked actually wasn't a Gibson. It was a Heritage, a 535. Amazing guitar, really good. I played it a couple summer NAMMs ago. Obviously, this year there's no summer NAMM happening. But I almost wanted to get one of those. And what happened was, and keep in mind, I've never played like a 56 or a 59 or, you know, anything like that. But I don't think I have. I fell asleep on the couch one day, and I just happened to wake up, and I was had the reverb page pulled up, and over on the side column was this guitar, and because I was looking for you know, cherry red, I wanted a dot neck. You know, it's not a real dot neck. But in my mind, when I think of a 335, I think of it being, you know, red dot neck. It's just what I envision. Not so much the block, for some reason. I pictured dot necks. This one was just there, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it was at Chicago Music Exchange. And it was like a super, you know, it was just fair price on it. I was like, oh, wow, I figured, you know, you buy stuff from a store, like a bigger store like that, usually you pay a little bit more because they also authenticate a lot of things and stuff. And not that people are out there, you know, making fake 70s Gibsons, but I was like, man, that's cool. And it just kind of like stuck in my head for the day. And I was like, and what's a 335 Pro? I never heard of it. It turns out it's a 335 that they only made for 3 years. They made it in 79, 80, and 81. Basically, it's a shorter scale. Like a normal 335 is 24 3/4. Well, this is 24 1/2. They were trying to make something that would appeal more to the rock musicians, not so much the fusion jazz guys at the time. And the neck is shaped a little bit different, and it has dirty finger pickups in here. And if you know anything about dirty finger pickups, for one, that's the thing that Sykes used on, I think it's the 87 Whitesnake album. That's what he had in his 70s Les Paul. Super hot pickups. They measure in at around 15 or 16, whatever it is. They're smoking hot, and it definitely does not sound like a 335, but it gives you this original, or I should say like unique, huge sound for a 335. 335s already sound big, but this is like a whole different like version of it, you know? So needless to say, we kind of took the chance and ordered it, and I don't know if I said it, but this one's a 79, so like I said, it was made for those 3 years. And I got it, and as soon as I got it and plugged it in, I was like, oh baby, this is the one. And you can kind of roll the volume down a little bit and stuff like that, and get more of those. I mean, I can't really do Clapton any kind of justice, but kind of those Clapton-y tones. Oh, sorry, wrong key. Now, I don't know what order these guitars are going to be in the actual video, because we're shooting all of the rosewood necks first, and then all the maple, because of the lighting and the reflections and all that kind of stuff. So we have to kind of do them in this particular order. This guitar right here, again, a lot of these Friedman guitars, I still get comments from people saying, like, I didn't even know Friedman made guitars. Not only do they make guitars, they make amazing guitars. I don't know if Grover Jackson is still involved with them. As far as I know, he is, but basically, Friedman Guitars is a collaboration between David Friedman and Grover Jackson. Grover Jackson, you know, one of my favorite guitar builders ever, from my favorite era of music, you know, the 80s. So when I found out he was buying these, this isn't the first one. The other one, I don't know where it is. The Cali is the first one I ever got. And when I got that one, I was just like, God, this guitar is incredible. Next, I got a Tele with P90s that you'll see here soon. Those have maple necks, that's why I don't have them just yet. And then thirdly, I was like, well, I want to get a Strat, you know, while Grover's still very involved and all that kind of stuff, and it just meant a lot that he was involved. And at one point, he was, I think he was painting them himself. You know, it's a smaller shop making all these things, so the attention to detail is really cool. They just have such a played in, just great vibe to them. So I ordered this one, and you know, I just wanted it in this, I wanted a hardtail. That was big. And this is what took so long for this guitar, because there's no tremolo system. I don't really use trims that much. My PRS is my main trim guitar. But that's what took so long, because this was, they were out of the hardtail bridges, and they had to wait on the factory to make them, so it took months and months and months. It took about a year to get this guitar. But man, was it worth it, because it just sounds, ooh. And it's part of the reason why I like with my other Strat, how it has the 3-way switch in it, and people are always like, put a 5-way in it. I'm like, honestly, I like it being a 3. It just makes it different, you know. I usually I'm not so much into duplicate guitars that don't have many differences, if that makes sense. You know, like, I like this guitar, it's hardtail, it's got a humbucker in here. It's totally different from my Strat, you know, because I don't consider it. This is a Friedman. You know, it has a 5-way switch in it, 1 tone knob, not 2. Lots of differences about it. The neck is completely different. These are all the things I tell myself to justify them. I love the way the position 4 sounds. But the humbucker, I can't remember the pickups. They're all Friedman pickups. I think this is the Classic Plus. It's the same pickup I have in my Cali, I think. Get that position 2 now with the humbucker in the middle. The ultimate Stratty position. Amazing. Like I get asked people all the time, are they that good? Yes, they are. And none of these were given to me. People think that they were just free guitars and all that kind of stuff. No. Nope, they were not. So, you know, they are incredible guitars. I highly recommend them. Ayo, back in Les Paul town, another guitar that has an amazing, amazing story to it. It's out of tune. Now we're cooking. So yes, I got this guitar from a gentleman named Paul. Paul, what's up, buddy? And we've kind of become friends from getting to own this guitar. This is another one, you know, Paul got this guitar pretty early on. This was a 76, and I can't totally remember, but I think Paul got the guitar in 1980 or something like that. Like, you know, so it had a previous life before Paul, but the majority of its life was spent with Paul. So like I said, this one's a 76. 74? No, 76. Don got a 74. I'm trying to remember these guitars. And I have the original pickups, but these are not the original pickups. I think it has pearly gates and an Alnico 2, Alnico 5. I can't remember all that stuff in it anymore. But, you know, it's just a stunning guitar, and it's another one of those where I got to experience the story of the person who owned the guitar. Like, Paul sent me all kinds of pictures of all these shows he played with it. And, you know, this guitar he had with him, and he said that, you know, he just really wasn't playing it, and he wanted it to go to someone who's going to play it. And I play it all the time. You know, I love this. I really wanted a custom. What was funny was I wanted a black Les Paul custom. Like I said, kind of like with the 335. When I think of a 335, I think of a, you know, the cherry red, and then I think of a dot neck. You know, when I think of a custom, I think of a black one, you know. But for some reason I was looking through them, and I was kind of saw a couple that I liked, but this one I was like, I've never even seen a tobacco burst from, you know, from the, I wanted a 70s custom. I've never seen one from the 70s that was a tobacco burst. And it just really caught my eye from the picture. And, you know, I kind of like went through it, the pictures, and I'm like, man, this thing is just cool. You know, it's got all like the gold's worn off. I'm like, this thing was just played. You know, it has this funky input jack on it. It's put on sideways, and I just loved it. You know, the long and short of it, I loved the guitar right off the bat. And then I got to, you know, experience the whole story of it from Paul and talk to him on the phone, and we still text each other and stuff. And just a great experience. And, you know, how I was talking about my KM, this guitar is kind of like the quote unquote all the wrong things in the 70s. You know, it's a 3-piece top. It's got a pancake body. That's where they have the 2 pieces glued together. And but it's like, who cares? Sounds great, plays great. None of that stuff matters, you know. So here's this bad mama jam. It sounds different from the other ones. Like I said, it has different pickups, and I have the T-tops, but I think I'll just keep it, you know, the way Paul had it. Oh, I'll tell you one thing. I like the neck pickup on this. This guitar, the neck pickup sounds great, and the middle position. Ooh, the buzz of P90s. Hello. Nice to hear you again, P90s. Actually, let me turn this gate down a little bit. It'll get a little bit more buzzy, but lets the guitars breathe a little bit more. So yes, the Goldtop. Now, like I said, you know, I kind of like, it might sound funny because I'm like, I don't like duplicate guitars, but they're really all, I know that there's 3 Les Pauls, but they're all so different. I mean, they couldn't be more different. Neck shapes. And one of the biggest things with me is the way the neck feels in my hands. Like, if the neck feels significantly different, that it's already a new guitar. Like, even if it's the same body style. Now, obviously, this one, P90s, so there's a lot of things setting it apart. And this one was another guitar that was kind of like sentimental to me. You'll notice that with all the guitars. I never just buy a guitar for the sake of having more guitars. You know, that's not really what I want. I buy the guitars with the mindset of, okay, there's a tone or a sound or an inspiration that I don't have with these other guitars. When I decided I wanted a Goldtop, I was like, well, it's got to be P90s, you know. By this point, I had my Friedman Telly, which you might not have seen yet. It'll be coming up here in a minute. But, you know, I really had fallen in love with the sound of P90s. I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a Goldtop, I want to get a P90 one. And I was like, you know, it'd be really cool to have a birth year guitar. So I was born in '89, and this guitar is an '89. So it's not some, like, rare, sought-after guitar. It's just a guitar that means a lot to me. And I don't know who owned this before. Man, I would love to hear the stories. Because this thing does not have the original pickups in here. Originally, these '89s came with something called P100s. Now, I have the original pickups. I think there's a real love-hate relationship with those particular pickups because they were silent P90s. And if you're like me, I don't love silent stuff like that all the time because part of the sound is the hum. But so this had Duncan Antiquities in it, and I replaced this bridge pickup. I didn't care for the Duncan Antiquity, and I almost never change pickups. But I put a Friedman Classic P90 in here, and that's what the bridge pickup is. A lot of people ask about that sound. So amazing sounding guitar. It's got tons of buckle rash on it. I mean, it's like worn through the finish. That's exposed wood. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'm probably not going to do close-ups of any of this stuff. It's just a chill, kind of chatty video. But everything. I like everything. The neck pickup on this thing. Oh. Again, hear that buzz? It's still there, but it's got to be there. It's part of the sound. I understand if like for recording and all that. So when I record, I run a higher gate on it. But live, you're probably going to want silent. But if you have the choice, I want the noise. Oh man, it's the everything guitar. The it does it all guitar. Now I made a video why I don't want a guitar that does it all, and you know that's kind of like a what's the right word for it? It's it's like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. You know, I like having guitars that do individual jobs, but there's no denying that this PRS, this is a CE24. I don't know where that is in the grand scheme of PRS. Like this guitar means this and this means that. I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is that when I played one of these, I was like, that's the PRS I want. There's other PRS that I wanted, like a Modern Eagle or a McCarty 594, double cutaways and all that kind of stuff. Love those. Love those guitars. I would love to own one. And actually, this guitar has me, really thinking more about wanting to get one of those. Issue was those were out of my budget, and all the other PRS that I had played, I was just kind of like, I like them, but I don't love them like I love those other ones. When I played the CE, I was like, ooh, I love it. Difference is bolt-on neck, maple, lots of different, a whole different shape to the neck, different carve to the body, everything. So the CEs are really interesting. If you've ever had trouble really getting into PRS, try a CE, because it won me over. And like I said, I literally play this guitar all the time. I just have a buddy, I'm not going to say who it is, because he might not have said, announced it publicly, another YouTube guy, he just got a CE. I was like, dude, you are going to love that guitar so much, because I love mine. And I even went with the 24 over the 22. I'm not a big 24 fret guy because I don't like what it does to the neck pickup, but these pickups are phenomenal. They sound incredible. This is what I mentioned earlier. Again, I don't know what order you're seeing the guitars in, but this is my whammy bar guitar. Or not whammy bar, but tremolo, or like, you know, the vibe kind of attack on it. Has one of the best, if not the best, kind of like non-Floyd Rose tremolos. You know, I kind of hate what a Floyd Rose does to the tone a little bit, but whatever they've done to this bridge, man, stays in tune great. It's such a smooth kind of like a vibrato to it. Yeah, I just like, and the tones of this thing are incredible. You know, bridge pickup, kind of forward position, or whatever. This is what I call the bridge. Sorry, not the bridge, but the forward. I think of this being forward. So in your face and just like rock and roll. The neck, warm and smooth. And then the coil tap, that's whenever I'm really using, and I like this middle position with the coil split, because then that's where everything just... Boom! Another fire breather of a guitar. This is not, if it makes a video appearance, people are like, "What is that guitar?" This is an incredibly built guitar. It's super solid, stays in tune like it's nobody's business, and it's made by my buddies. You know, my really good friends out in California. Acacia guitars. Like I said, this one's called the Cronus. Now, I have Fishman pickups in here. We're talking about how I don't always want silent pickups. Well, sometimes I do want silent pickups, and these are super silent. In here, and it's just a monstrous sounding guitar. I've been doing a lot of teaching stuff lately, and I keep this guitar tuned down a half step. So that's why you mainly see this guitar, a couple other ones that you'll see here I keep tuned down. You mainly see those guitars in like riff videos, and because of all the copyright stuff going on right now, I haven't really been doing too many riff videos, so you haven't seen them. And that's the only reason why. It's not because I don't like them or I don't play them. I play them a lot. It's just, you know, their purpose is kind of on hold right now. So still, you know, like I said, a phenomenal sounding guitar. Like I said, I got the Fishman active pickups in here. Great, just a monstrous, you know, it's not super like deathly heavy. It's like if I was playing live, I'd probably take this guitar instead of a Les Paul. You know, big old mahogany neck, lightweight, it's got comfort cuts in it, all that kind of stuff. They put like graphite, they have like a truss rod and then there's actual like graphite things in here, so the neck only moves if you want it to move. I've had this guitar for 3 years now, I think, and I've never adjusted the neck on it. It doesn't move, and to me that's a statement because I live in Ohio. So our weather is so crazy. The fact that this guitar can do that, that's you know, that says a lot to me if I was looking into a guitar. So yeah, these guitars are amazing. Ebony board. I think this is one of the few ebony board guitars that I have. Most of the stuff is even the Strat's rosewood. I know it's so dark, but it's dark with age, not because it's ebony. On to the next. Yo, Super Strat time, right? It's the only rosewood rosewood board Super Strat I have. And it's funny enough, because the whammy bar that's on here actually is not the whammy bar for this guitar. So this whammy bar actually belongs to a guitar that I gave away. What happened was I couldn't find the whammy bar for that guitar. So this was the closest guitar to me. I'm like, oh, whatever, here's a whammy bar. So Luke has you know, a guitar that with all chrome but a black whammy bar on it. So then I have this guitar now because I found the whammy bar finally, all black, you know, murdered out kind of like hardware. But then I have this chrome whammy bar on it. So it's funny. I don't think Luke minds, but I just think it's kind of it's a little thing that makes each guitar more unique. Anyway, so this is the iconic Evolution. You know, this was just in a lesson video I did, and it's hard to get the color on camera, but there you can see a little bit better now. In person, it's a stunning, you know, red guitar. Kevin over there, such a cool guy. You know, me and Kevin hit it off right away. These are EMG retroactives. The other thing, and when people see this guitar, they're like, "What are those pickups?" I'm like, "They're EMG retroactives. The only EMGs that I've ever played that I liked." And that's not, you know, bagging on EMG in any way. It's just I've never really liked their pickups. Until these, I originally encountered these. It was in the Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder. I think that had retroactives in it. And then I got this one and it had these in there too. You know the Hurricane song? All your promises and empty lies. So good. That's a classic Doug Aldridge, you know, right there. But anyway, so this guitar, yeah, like I said, I love everything about this guitar. It feels great. It's an incredibly even guitar. You know, like some guitars are real bitey, real this or that. This guitar is just kind of even across the board. String, oh, you gotta get it. If you've not played an electric 12 string, please do yourself a favor and get one. I still stand by what I said when I got this guitar. When I got it, I'm like, this is such an inspiring guitar. And I remember I did a collab video, and with Pete Thorne, Tim Pierce, who else was on there? I can't remember off the top of my head, but Tim played this electric 12 string. I had just gotten this guitar. I'm like, man, that was so cool what Tim played. And I was like, I need to play that 12 string more, and I started messing with it more. And it's like a secret weapon guitar. I think I did a video called that about this guitar because it just sounds phenomenal. You know, and I still have the same distorted tone. I just turned the volume down a little bit. These Danelectros are you know, totally affordable versus, you know, maybe like a Fender or something like that. But this middle position here, it's the stuff, man. Sounds cool with a higher gain too if I wanted to roll it all the way up, get it on double lipstick. You know, but I use it a lot more for kind of the cleaner stuff. single P90 action, coming in hot. This is my buddy Jared's signature Epiphone, man. This is a smoking guitar. He gave this to me as a gift, and it's such a great, you know, for the price, amazing guitar. Amazing guitar. Some people, for some reason, are like super turned on, like, oh, it's one P90. I'm like, that's what makes it cool. One P90, it sounds different than two P90s, you know. You know, all aboard the rock and roll train when you plug this thing in. The plaque, you can take the plaque off, you know. There's nothing wrong with it, man. You can see Jared did sign it, but I've played it and worn off the signature now. So Jared's gonna actually come up here at some point. Obviously, COVID happened. We were gonna do some stuff together, but you know, hopefully, you know, everything will chill out in 2021, and we'll get all those wheels moving on some things. But, and if you're looking for a guitar like gigging or something like that, maybe you don't want to take out your custom Les Paul or something like that. Yo, try one of these if you still want that P90 single P90 action. Yo, back in the Danelectro train. Woo woo! Obviously, my love of Danelectro comes from Jimmy Page. You know, imagine that. Jimmy Page, not like me, liking all. I never know which one's the volume. There we go. Jimmy Page, not like me, liking Danelectros because of him. Go figure. No, you know. How I was trying to talk about, you know, I like guitars that have different sounds and vibes, and these certainly feel, you know, very different. It's a very small neck, which I normally wouldn't like, but I like the Danelectros. I think they sound so unique. They sound different than a Strat, different than a Tele. You know, for the single coils, they have these, you know, single coil lipstick pickups in here. They sound so different, and I've used them a lot recording, because sometimes they sit really well in a track. You know, if you're just kind of like recording stuff and I need something that's kind of like nasally, but it's like the middle position on a Les Paul is not doing it. The middle position on the Tele is not doing it. I'm like, let me try Danelectro in here, and I'll get it, and I'm just like, oh, that's the sound I want. Because like it sounds surprisingly, in the middle position, thicker than like a Tele does, you know? The bridge pickup is this weird in-between ground of a Strat and Tele again. Like, if you haven't tried one of these, they're not crazy expensive guitars or anything, but they're crazy rich with the vibe. Like I said, it's all about the vibe. That's why I like these guitars, man. If the guitar doesn't have a interesting kind of like flavor to it, I usually am not too interested in it. Where that was going. Yo, you gotta have a baritone. You know, again, I can't stress it enough. Guitars with different flavors, like I said. A baritone is about all the flavor you need. Tune B to B. I keep mine in good old standard, you know, baritone tuning. And does it do anything? Oh my god! I've never known that this thing coil splits. I saw the knob was raised up a little bit, and I'm like, does it do anything? And I like pulled up on it. Oh, I had no clue. I didn't know that. Wow. Boom! I just learned something about my own guitar. Live on camera. No, I really wanted a baritone. I was watching a bunch of like Mark Lettieri's stuff, who he's 1,000 times better than I am. But I was like, oh man, a baritone's so cool. I didn't want it for like the drop tune, kind of stuff. So that's why I kind of opted for this more semi-hollow kind of baritone. So that's why, like I said, I don't necessarily use this to be heavy. I use it in a much more kind of like... More Esquire action. Now this is a guitar that I never planned on owning, to be honest. It's funny how different it sounds from mine, because this is spec'd off of a true 1950. Now, if you don't know what this guitar is, I did a video. It's been in a couple of videos, but I did an unboxing of it because one of the reasons why me and Fender started even like working together is they were asking me if I wanted to check out this 70th, not 50th, 70th anniversary. There it is, 70th anniversary. Of the Esquire, and I was like, oh, that would be amazing, because I had people messaging me, like, you guys, like, dude, did you hear they're coming out with the 70th anniversary Esquire? Because obviously at this point I had my 58, and I had already bought the Squire Esquire. We did a giveaway and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh man, I'd love to check out the 70th anniversary one. It'd be so cool. So they were like, yeah, man, we'll send it out, and that was just kind of like, that was it. I didn't ask them for money. I didn't ask them for anything. I just wanted to check out the guitar. I'm like, shoot, yeah. I said I'd like to do a comparison video, So I did that video, and then I was like, hey, are you guys okay if when it gets here, if I unbox the guitar kind of, and just like first impressions almost. And Fender was super nice, and they let me keep this guitar. So I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not, trying to be like, I bought this guitar. But this was, it means a lot to me because, Fender, obviously, such an iconic brand to everyone, but also myself, having played Fender since pretty much the beginning, it was cool to get one of these from them, and like I said, it means a lot. And what's cool is it's a flat pole pickup. They actually borrowed an Esquire from Songbird, which is no longer there, and they kind of replicated that flat pole pickup. It's got a pine body, a roasted pine body, this a thin coated nitro on it, so it's gonna wear and tear, and it's got this kind of more what's the D-shaped neck or C-shape, whatever this shape is called. But it's funny because it just sounds so different from my other Esquire. I really enjoy playing this one. Oh snap, viewer favorite. Wow, it's so dark sounding. This guitar, it needs some serious work to it. It is, it's not holding up too well. It needs some TLC, so I'm going to get that taken care of here real soon. Input jack is falling out of it. I got to get some new screws, some longer screws, and the Floyd Rose is being a little bit funky. But every time this guitar comes out, it's one of the favorite guitars I own. Not one of my favorite guitars to play. You guys have heard me mention this many times in videos. Just because of the small neck on it. It has a very small kind of shredder neck on it. Not really my thing, but the overall kind of like spirit of the guitar, I'm like, nah, you can't not love it. Look at the crackle finish on it. So it's, I always say this, it's kind of a mutt. You know, it's a Model 1 neck, and then I think it's a 3DR or Predator body. I can't remember which one it is. I never can. But this is a Duncan Custom. This guitar actually belonged to a friend of mine, Bill. Bill, if you're watching this, man. He's always like, if you ever saw that guitar, I'm like, I never saw this guitar. And the original Charvel neck pickup in there still. So I broke the switch a long time ago playing it live, and the whammy bar is somewhere over here. But it's a very dark and compressed sounding guitar. You know, but it has its own thing going on. Like I said, each guitar needs to have its own voice. If they just sound too much the same, I'm just kind of like, I'll get rid of it and I'll get something totally different. Next, hola! But I'll play this one standing up. The Friedman Vintage T. A lot of people ask about this one. If you notice in general, it's just surely because of lighting, you haven't seen a lot of maple neck guitars in general, including the Esquire. And it's just because of lighting. We're doing some different stuff, so you'll be seeing a lot more of the maple necks here real soon. But in lessons, it gets hard sometimes if it gets real glary. See, I have to like remember to look at the monitor over there and make sure it's not glaring out to where you can't see what fret I'm on. So, like I said, you'll be seeing these a lot more. I still play these constantly. I think it's one of the best sounding guitars that I own. And just one of the best feeling guitars I own. Like I said, I saw a picture. My buddy Jeff, what's up, buddy? How are you doing, man? Old Schultzy posted a picture on Friedman's Facebook or Instagram, I can't remember what it was, and he had a guitar that looked just like this, even heavier, Relict, and I was like, oh, I want that, you know, and I ordered one of them like that, and this is what they came up with, and it became one of my favorite guitars that I own right away. I was like, never gonna sell it. The first P90 guitar I ever had. It made me realize what I was missing the whole time. It's just a ferocious sounding guitar. Like there's not much chill in this guitar. You know, like I said, like the Goldtop kind of had this like chill side to it. This one's like, hey, I'm ready to go. But yes, another guitar, and I get messages from people all the time like, hey, there's one of these Friedman Vintage T's on Reverb. It's a good price. You know, how do you like yours? I'm like, dude, get it. Every single person I know, I think 6 or 7 people now, friends of mine, who have these guitars, and they all still have them, and they all still love them. As soon as they got it, they're like, you were right. Joe McCarthy, Ron. If you guys are watching this, leave comments. Man, you guys know what's up with these guitars. So there you have it. And then you gotta have a Telecaster. You know, straight up tele-fueled, in-your-face action. There you go. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to play country. Because I definitely don't. But yeah, this is our old trusty, I never can remember what year it is. 2013 American Standard Tele. I don't know what pickups came in these back then, but they sound great. I've never changed anything. This is a completely stock guitar. Alright, let's talk about a guitar that has a sound. This is a guitar that kind of stole the show. Had it tuned very weird. I first played this guitar 2 years ago. We were doing, I think, it's here in Ohio called Guitar Fest. And I was playing it, and I was there playing with Vola. And I was helping him set up the booth and everything. We took this guitar out. I was like, oh, wow. They had a green one. I like the look of the green one better. And I remember I played it. I'm like, oh, it sounds good. And then I played this one. And this position 4, this one sound. And they had just switched and started putting arcane pickups. So these are arcane pickups, the only guitar I have with them. And they were using another kind. I can't remember what they were. And what were they? The knuckle pickups, bare knuckle. And I really didn't. I've never really played a pair of bare knuckle pickups that I liked. And they were like, oh, we put arcanes in these. And I'm like, yo, those are better. I'm not saying anything against bare knuckle. It's just I haven't played a set that I cared for. And you know, these arcanes sounded so good. Yeah, they sounded so snappy. Say the name of the guitars. It's a Vola OZ. It's one of their USA ones. Rich pickup sound. It's like a very dark sounding pickup, and I find it gets that Eric Johnson tone really good. Oh, sorry, wrong note. Now this is the guitar. I've been playing this guitar more than any of them lately. This has been the main guitar. I tuned it down a half step, and it just kind of like took on a new life of its own. Is what was really funny. It's like the guitar was meant to be played a half step down. Ooh, I love it. This is my Eddie guitar. You know, I know I talk about Page a lot, but you know, Eddie's the original guitar hero for me. And I think this is, it gets you close to that Eddie sound. I mean, it does have a neck pickup in it. Again, kind of looking back now, I would have maybe you know, ordered one. This wasn't a custom order. This was just one they had there that I got. I would have maybe opted for a single pickup guitar, but there's no tone controls. So that's such a huge thing, I feel like, to get Eddie's tone, for that early tone anyways. And I think the pickups are just mounted to the body or something like that. I don't know. There's all kinds of voodoo, mama juju happening. But from the moment I got this guitar, I'm like, it just has that sound. It has the Eddie tone. I noticed guitars with tone controls don't have that snap and punch. Like, this is a very biting guitar. Sorry, there's like a hair on me. It's driving me crazy. There it is. But if you really want that Eddie tone, his tone was very bright and biting, you know. There you go. I don't have enough distortion, but you know, really that tone is right there, you know. Tune that B string up like Eddie. Oh, here we are. Look at this one. You know, I think I was one of, maybe, I think Ola might have had one before me, but I think I was one of the first people on YouTube to like do a demo or anything of a Vola, and since then I've become such good friends. Sean and Greg and Ryan, everyone at Vola. You know, I've done all kind. I've traveled to Shanghai multiple times with them to play at Music China, and all the past like 4 NAMMs I played at their booth, all this kind of stuff. Just amazing relationship with them. Just become really good friends with them and everything. And this was, like I said, I got this one to demo, and I loved it. It was so cool. I've used the guitar a bunch live. And, you know, I make the videos on that kind of stuff. It's got some nicks and dings on it. It's kind of hard to see. But I even took this last year to NAMM, and I played it for all my sets. That way I had my own guitar there. But a big C neck, I don't think they make these anymore. The battery literally just died. The frets light up. So like I said, I would use this live, and, you know, on a dark stage, it's really cool because, you know, you flip the lights on, and when you have a new 9-volt in here, oh my god, they're so bright. I can't even use it in videos when I have a brand new battery in here, because it's so bright you can't even look at the fingerboard. So I have to let the battery die down a little bit, then I can use it again in videos. But super cool guitar. This one, actually, I did change the pickups on it. These are Fishman. I think this is a Fishman Modern or Classic, and these are the Fishman single coils. And it took me a little bit to warm up to them, to the sound of them, because they're very bright. You know, this does something. I don't know what it does. Changes something. But once I got used to like the brightness and kind of like started working with the tone control a little bit more, then they really. And the final guitar, all covered in dust. Some of these guitars were so dusty. I didn't clean them before. I never really cleaned the guitars, you know. They just kind of, they do their own thing. This one is so dusty. I really don't play it since I got my Strat. This guitar is actually my wife's. Oh my god. So the final guitar here that I'll show you, maybe it's the final one, is this guitar. Now this one's not actually mine. This is my wife's. This is my wife's Fender VG. It's a 2007. And so it's basically like an American Strat, but it has this Roland pickup in here. Another one of those things, when I use it in videos, people are like, what's that other pickup in there? And it's this big modeling thing. I don't think there's batteries in here right now. Let's see. No. So it's not working right now. It needs 4 AA batteries, so you'll burn through some batteries if you don't watch out. But it models it so it can change the tuning without actually like tuning it differently, change the output of the guitar, make it sound like an acoustic, all these kind of things. The technology is kind of dated now. It doesn't sound as good, but when this guitar came out, that was like, whoa, the guitar's so cool. So, you know, in its heart and soul, it's a good old American Strat. I don't play it because I have my own Strat, but there's no doubt it has a very unique sound because there's a big section of it routed out for this pickup and all this crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, super cool guitar. Not mine. Not really my favorite neck profile on this. There's another reason why I don't play it. And these strings are so shot and old. God, they feel horrible. But, you know, it's a cool guitar at the end of the day. And not mine, so I don't have to like it. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. Did you make it? Did you survive this video? Oh, this is like the longest video I've ever shot. I had to take a break, go have lunch, my legs keep falling asleep. Whew! If you made it all the way to the end, leave a comment, #mightyfine. So other than that guys, I'll see you all later. If you have other questions, I think I covered all the majority of the guitars and all that stuff, so I'm not sure how many that is, but hopefully I answered maybe what you were asking, what kind it is, what model, what brand. And hey, just thank you guys so much, because for one, without you, I obviously wouldn't have been able to get, most of these guitars. So it means a lot. And like I said, we're going to keep doing the giveaways. You know, I feel fortunate, so I want to make sure that we keep sharing that. And some cool stuff going on. I saw some of the comments. You guys make sure the Jazzmaster's in it. It's not my guitar, so I didn't include the Jazzmaster in here. But I'm pretty. You know, I want to get a Jazzmaster here before too long. The one I want is still just out of stock, so we'll have to see. But other than that, I will see you all later. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. I bet you're tired. This probably took up the majority of your day. Who knows? But I'll see you all later. Yo, I'm gonna come all the way in. Oh my God, my legs are still asleep. For a high five. Bye, guys.